tournament where one team will qualify to make it to the Summit 7 LAN. It's going to be super hyped today as we have 2 more best of 3s for you. And leading things out, it's old DC versus new DC. Apparently I need to check my microphone as it's gone robotic already, so I'm going to do the unplug replug thing right now to save us all the trouble. Again, and now I will do everyone the honor in introducing my amazing co-caster coming all the way again from Croatia, none other than the studded Lacoste. Hello, my friend. How you feeling today?
Thank you, my friend. Here we are again, DC versus DC. I think DC should win. Don't you agree?
Oh.
Yes, no?
Yeah, no, I'm
what?
sorry. I'm
Yeah.
also distracted, trying to make sure everything's, like, good. Apparently all sound is static, which is not good at all because I am totally alone at the office today, Lacoste. Everyone is out. It's actually a really big weekend. The man himself, LD, is actually getting married this weekend. It's his wedding weekend. So a lot of people here from the office are currently away at the moment. So I got to see if I get it all figured out. Let me figure this out.
Yeah, I can fill in. You can fix.
Why don't you go ahead, and while I get this sorted, tell us why we should be hype about this. Now, I alluded to it a bit. This is old DC versus new DC, Lacoste.
Well, new DC needs to prove that they can wear the new DC tag, I guess. There is a clockwork ban on the side from Thunderbirds. We saw yesterday Bulba playing it. It was really good initiations. That fight at top tower, tier 3 tower, if you actually watch the game, when he locked down, it was who was it? Ursa, I think, with that blade mail pops and his 4-staff plays was really good. Bulba is getting a lot of unnecessary hate when he was playing off lane. I mentioned it a few days before. I think Bulba shines more on position 4/5. We saw yesterday as well his Nyx Assassin play. He was just providing the vision for his team, some clutch stuns as well, and he just gave enough time for his team to farm up. You may not notice it, like you see the score. Bulba has like 2 and 7, but he's doing a really good job for his team.
That's the thing, is he's one of those players like Ana that is just constantly going to be under that magnifying glass, and everyone loves to treat as the punching bag for the team when something typically goes wrong. And it's a shame because when they make up these huge epic plays, it kind of just goes a bit unnoticed. Or you'll see the pro Bulba, the pro Ana Warriors say, "See, told you so. These guys are the best." And they will be able to pull out those big plays because they're crafty veterans and they've had all these major experience. And unfortunately for some people like Bulba, they're still trying to find that place to nest and be able to take full advantage of the talent he brings to a team. And we'll see if Digital Chaos is one of those spots for him. So here for this draft to lead things out, game 1. Still going to be trying to monitor the audio as best I can, guys. We have Nyx Assassin and Vengeful Spirit to lead out the gate for Thunderbirds, while Digital Chaos move promptly into Blonde Lady, Crystal Maiden, and then promptly into a top-tier core and getting the Terrorblade right away.
Yeah, well, nothing surprising about CM being picked as first hero. Also, Terrorblade. We see a lot of Terrorblades lately. It's either banned or picked. Also, Thunderbird's first pick, Nyx Assassin. We saw Misery yesterday playing that Nyx Assassin combined with Invoker. So I guess DC will ban out Invoker right now. I think Invoker got 9 out of 9 kills from just Sunstrikes from Nyx Assassin Vendetta Impale combo.
That was crazy. It was really spectacular, and I'm with you. I wouldn't be surprised if it's something they decide to go for again. I feel like every Invoker game we've seen, the Invoker has been a pretty solid showing because we only got to see some Invoker games over these past day or so. But we could likely see another one here for our game 1 debut today. Now we're moving into the second phase, and Thunderbirds are putting a lot of targeting onto some of the other mid lane options here. Do you think banning out Puck and TA just kind of gives it a bit more clear cut that it could be something like the Invoker. I mean, they're leaving the tasty Ember Spirit out there, of course, but I'm not sure if banning a TA says we're definitely going to be going Invoker or not.
Oh, yeah, this is another classic pickup for Moon. Batrider, yesterday he was playing 2 out of 2 games on that Batrider. Well, Invoker's gonna be picked definitely either for a bed or for V. That's for sure. We saw some splendid performance from a bed as well a few days ago.
Batrider now coming out.
5 seconds
Teams
remaining.
still preferring the Batrider in their lineup, including Cole as of recent. So
Reserve time.
here, Thunderbirds looking to grab it again. Oh, sweet. It looks like I did fix it. All right, we're good, Lacoste. My bad on the distractions there. Batrider,
Bob the
BKB
fixer.
piercing. Yeah, I know, right?
Bob the Builder, yeah.
A man of many hats here in the studio. Technician, audio tech, producer, production, sellout, host, and talent management all in one.
10
So
seconds remaining.
now we can actually focus on Dota, which is what matters, and I'm excited here.
5
So
seconds remaining.
Batrider, and not a lot of good counters out there for the Batrider as of yet. Digital Chaos in the meantime moving to the
Reserve time.
Slardar Lacoste, but do you get the impression, you were saying last time you find more favor in this meta in particular of the Slardar in the 4 position. Do you still think that's likely, even in this case?
Yeah, definitely. Especially with Crystal Maiden in a team. He can just roam around when he gets those tranquil boots up. He doesn't need to go heal if he doesn't die. That's pretty much it. Yeah, I mean, it's practically the same hero. Depends what your rotations are. If you get some good ganks going early game, you'll get the same timing on that Blink Dagger as off lane.
We'll see if there's going to be enough setup potential around the Slardar so he can have such a game before him. But look at this, an insurance policy, one of the strongest late gamers you can ask for. Thunderbirds move into the Medusa pickup now. You get the bailout potential with your Vengeful Spirit, but now thinking about taking things to the later parts of this one. And DC don't take too much time to respond with their own core pickup, and they're going to grab the Lifestealer. So now you have the Lifestealer to go with the Slardar for a vehicle. Plus whatever, they want to pick up in that off lane too.
10 seconds remaining.
Well, the Thunderbirds, they picked
5 seconds remaining.
Alchemist yesterday. Now they're going for Medusa. It seems like they're taking this super seriously. They don't want to risk anything. Medusa, that kind of a pick. You pull it out from time to time, and it's important when it's picked. Medusa with Venge Aura should go super late game, very good, very easily. But I'm one thing I'm thinking about is if Terrorblade gets like insane amount of farm early game.
10 seconds
If he goes for like the Fusel Blade after Manta style and Dragonlance, he can just rip Medusa apart.
Yeah, alter the build to cater to Medusa. I mean, would you even consider doing that? Let's say if Digital Chaos have a great game and they feel like the Medusa is not a threat, do you still build in preparation for the Medusa? Or if things are going so well, you just play your own game at that point? It's just, I wonder how much they feel the Medusa is just a constant threat given how good the game is feeling for them.
Well, I still think getting the Fusel Blade on Terrorblade when you're playing against Medusa is a must-have.
Okay.
Also, when you're playing against Bristleback as well, that's the kind of a hero you want to put the Fusel Blade into your item build.
Yeah,
Definitely.
certainly.
I mean, he's just tank. When he loses mana, can't use Quill Spray, doesn't have a move speed, doesn't have attack damage, and he's pretty much useless.
Yeah, he relies a lot on the rest of his team to kind of back him up with either more mana or ways on getting in and out of the fight. Here, DC, though, looking to grab up what is potentially going to be the Forev pick. We saw lots of Axe from him over the past couple of days. Don't know if Axe really fits the bill in this one, but a lot of other formidable options. And Tidehunter is going to be the one they land on, the Watermelon Man. Haven't seen this guy in a hot frickin' minute. Where had he been?
Yeah, I think this hero is like super underpicked. I would say, let me compare him to something. I'll cheat, check the heroes.
10 seconds
Yeah, you
remaining.
can see Tidehunter same as like Ancient Apparition
5
or
seconds
let's say
remaining.
Shadow Demon right now. Yeah,
It's
that
crazy.
hero nowhere on radar.
Reserve time.
And there's the Ember to come out last for Thunderbirds. So, gotta go jump back to Tidehunter, though. Tidehunter used to be a very popular pick, obviously, and a lot of teams grabbed him up as a counter pick to the Bat Rider. So, I don't know if that is the sole reasoning here or if it's a comfort thing for Forev, but it's good to have him in those kind of counterfight situations. Bat Rider could be stuck in a position where it's like, well, I get the Tidehunter or I'm not going to be getting anyone, really. So, or at least until he gets a BKB. It's a great pickup. I welcome it back. But now with the Ember Spirit coming out, Lacoste, do you think the Tidehunter is a good enough fifth pick to give this the advantage to DC, or are you feeling Thunderbirds are going to be walking away with a potential Game 1 victory?
One more thing about that Tidehunter.
Okay.
That's the hero that we didn't see at all, but I think
10
hero can
seconds
be used
remaining.
more often, especially right now because Dota is like
5 seconds
team fight
remaining.
oriented. Who has a better team fight and late game pretty much wins the game. And with he was always the classic offlane hero, and the offlane's been pretty easy to play lately because of the shrines, those runes you're spawning, Iron Talon, and this hero can farm like super fast. So I'm actually surprised that hero is not picked more often.
I think people, I mean, I don't know. I'm not a pro, of course, but a lot of people have just been favoring a lot of the other offlane cores and a lot of ones that if they're looking for team fight setup like that, they would rather just get something that's more like an Enigma Black Hole or maybe even a Void Chronos. I guess something more BKB piercing. I mean, once the BKBs come online, Tide's back to the drawing board
Yeah.
of having to build up a refresher and stuff before he can make a big team impact. Because otherwise, late game, he's just a spinning anchor man who they could just decide to ignore.
Yeah, that's the thing. Biggest problem is BKB and big cooldown. That's it.
But like I said, I welcome him back. It's been a long time since we see the Tidehunter and big Ravages being big hype. So looks like we're gonna get into this one again. Remember that for whatever reason, whether it be intended or not, they've turned on Allied chat wheel, so we get to peer into Allies chat wheel. Don't always think it's a BM move or not, but makes things fun for us. And I think the players know it, so they spam it a lot more now.
Yeah.
I mean, I heard them talk about it even on Dream League that, oh, the casters hear it, so, it's our chance to just reach out to the viewers and say something. So they like to BM within each other, so Dota's getting quite silly, but a lot of fun.
Dota's always been a lot of fun. Not so much silly, but
Well,
always a lot
Matama
of
Man,
fun.
I know in particular, said he was a big fan of it. What do you think? Do you think the chat wheel is something you'd like to see stick around? Do you think that it's not professional? Do you think that we should be focusing on Dota? Or do you think that, or do you think otherwise? I'm curious about your thoughts, Lacoste.
Well, they should keep it. It gives like a little spice to everything. Especially when you fail, you can just use that. It's a disaster always.
And this is Summit, so I think if there's any event, I welcome it, if anything. So if they want to have a good time while playing, then let them have their fun. Because it's high stakes still. Let's remember, this is playoff action. Just 4 teams remain. Winner of this is already going to be securing a spot into the grand finals where they await their opponent. And then they're just 1 series away from making it out to the Summit 7 land where, we always have a fantastic time. And it's a good opportunity to have a almost over-glorified boot camp opportunity for you and your team to power up. And away we go. Abed, the mid lane matchup. No surprise, Abed going to be going right into the Metamorphosis. He's got to flex them muscles, elbow him back out of the lane.
Yeah, that 11 armor, poor man's shield. He doesn't take damage from creeps at all, pretty much. Again, we see Nyx Assassin played by Misery. Deep Ward planted in the jungle. Does that block the spot? Not. He doesn't block. But again, with the Boots of Speed, we expect some rotations on that Terrorblade after he gets like level 2, level 3 maybe.
Yeah, first things first, though. He wants to come up and bite at the watermelon a bit. Poking back Forev as much as possible here. Forev's still able to sit on a couple of tangos. He has the Iron Talon in hand, something that they took note of, hence the ward that was probably placed over there so they can get in there and disrupt the flow of this Tidehunter a bit in his lane. Back at bottom lane, Kagami, who is Bulba, of course.
Of course, but Bulba has Malva has a different nickname every game. At least he's on the blue spot, so we know it's him. It's either blue or pink.
And
What
I'll
do you
try not
think,
to say Misery because Misery's on the other team this time.
Yeah, what do you think it's Bulba's favorite color?
Probably blue.
Light.
I would say blue.
Light pink.
Light pink? Why do you think?
Like yeah. Well, Bulba looks like that kind of a guy that wears like underwear with tiger.
All right. I mean, you're the one that's been around the block to hang with these players. Fair enough. Fair enough. We're already seeing Misery be a headache here for Forev, so he's got to know he's being under the watchful eye of Thunderbirds quite a bit. It looks like Weeha's been able to kind of reestablish himself in the mid lane too on his Ember Spirit, starting to overtake the Terrorblade for the time being until that Metamorph comes back up. Misery and Forev still trading blows, fighting over that big Centaur creep. It looks like Misery will be able to sneak it in and take it away.
Someone is angry. Someone was. Who was it? Oh, it was Crystal Maiden. Actually, it was not a Tide. The orange ping was coming out.
Dude was like, dude, what happened? You gonna
He
let
just
that
stole your
happen?
creep.
You gonna let that happen? All right. Well, Misery also even gonna be snagging up the Invis rune up at the top of the river. He is still only level 1? Yeah, almost level 2 though. Maybe with that they could try to make something out of it. Forev is pretty low, so.
Yeah, Misery is a leech king, just
Yes, he
leeching
is.
all the experience.
And now he'll be able to attack the shrine, so no kill opportunities will be there for Misery at all. This will leave the top lane, of course, very, very free for resolution. Nearby, Saksa is working with the pole camp. Looks like he's going to be possibly a bit slow to go for this one,
Radiant's
but
courier
tries
has
to
been
stack it
killed.
nonetheless. Meanwhile, the Radiant's Courier goes down. A pickoff, I'm sure, by Misery here near the mid lane.
Yes, yeah. Again, with that invis, he's just saving a point if he wants to go for mana burn or just spike the carapace if needed. Oh, he stole another creep from the forest.
And Misery's doing his part right here, being as annoying as you'd see like a bounty hunter typically, or even a Ricky early on. Forev is going to be pestered a bit, and this is going to be a bit of a slow day for him to start things out. Other side, though, the breadwinner for DC is Mason here in the bottom lane. 28 and 10 denies in his matchup up against Moon, who had been floating between that bottom off lane and heading nearby in the jungle. Moon has been throwing himself in a bit of trouble, though. He's only level 2, and he only has 1 CS at the moment, Lacoste. It's going to be a slow start for him, too. It's even slower than Forev's case at the moment.
Well, he can't go on a lane against Nyx. Crystal Maiden doesn't have he doesn't have vision on CM, and also against Slardar with boots, it's hard. I mean, the Moon Meander does pretty much the same thing every game he plays on that Batrider. Just tries to go on lane. If he sees he's threatened, just goes to creep camp and just stacks it. He stacked it. Like,
Rotation here from Dubu. And Bulba's also en route. We could be seeing our first attempted gank of the game. Meanwhile, mid lane, I'm seeing some action breakdown on Beds, dishing out the Metamorph and fends off Weeha at the moment, but no blood will be shed. We go back to bottom, and that's when they're going to make their call. Open Wounds is going to be there for Moon. He's going to have to go into Fireflight. Can they slow him down enough? The rotation's going to be coming out. Bulba's able to get close enough for the stun, and the Frostbite will be there to help secure things. Misery rotates in, but it's going to be too late for the assist, and the first blood is going to go the way of DC.
Yeah, that's where action is gonna be on the bottom lane. I just mentioned that Batrider can't really stand there. Now he has the Tranquil Boots finished, has some extra move speed, places a Sentry Ward on top because they were diving, so he knows they have a ward there, and he should just move to forest, try to get as much XP and gold as he can there.
Yeah, he shoots up to level 4 for now, but that one ward placed by DC, you know, it does its job, I guess, for now. And they get their opportunity to make the move in and get the first blood of the game. Touching back with Forevi's at level 5 here. Still holding off the jungle nearby. Abed's transformation has concluded recently in his matchup against Wee as he gets hit up with the chains a bit. Wee's kind of establishing himself here and continues to chase him down. Abed, are they going to call out for a rotation? Yes, it's going to be Bulba. He's trying to hold him close to where the crush could be. And Weeha's going to get hit by it, but he is level 6. So nothing should come out of this. Just a good forced rotation pull coming out from Wee.
Oh,
Oh, cancel it?
Is he gonna deny it?
Yeah, denies it. Takes away that illusion rune from Wii, and he's gonna have to go back to lane with an empty bottle.
You know what looked cool? The Hand of Midas was purchased at the same time for Medusa and Nyx, like the exact same time. Like,
Oh, diving top lane, looking to go for Forev. It's between 3. He's not level 6 yet. He's going to get hit with the stun setup there from Misery. A stake will come out, and with enough right-click power, they will get it done. And Resolution also is able to pick up the last hit as Thunderbirds, just like that, get their own kill on the board too.
yeah, Medusa already level 7 minutes in. Also Nyx. I mean, they're having a free lane with that Midas usage. Once they're gonna keep pressuring that top lane. I don't think Forever can get back to that lane.
Dire's bottom tower
And on the opposite side, they're looking for Moon too, while they're diving for their own tier 2 tower. It's taking a bit longer for DC to do the trade, and we could see possibly Thunderbirds rotate down here after they successfully take down this tier 1. We'll have to see though. Level 6s are slowly starting to come together. Forev needs more time for his though, as he's just trying to pull the aggro from the tower, but it's not going to stop him from taking it. Looks like they're going to be able to move in. Forev not even thinking about going for the deny. That one will get dropped, and Thunderbird's going to be happy about pretty much freeing up a lot of space for themselves in this top lane.
Yeah, well, the map is now open. They took tier 1 tower down. They can pull the creeps waves now, or just to continue get the levels, because next assassin is level 3, Saksa is level 4 on Venge. Oh, Ember with Invis rune.
Yeah, he got it at a great time, and it could be at the expense of Forev's life. Forev is level 6 now, but if they burst him fast enough, he won't be able to get it off. There they trap him within the chains. 1 TP is all it takes for Thunderbirds to change their mind. Once they recognize that there could be counterplay potential, they don't even want to risk it. Not for that biscuit. Do you like biscuits?
Yeah. Check this out. The Nyx assassin, when playing against Crystal Maiden, you will always have mana, so he will always have something to burn. What a counter up!
Yeah, that's pretty next level. I like that. Always has mana to be able to take away, so he's putting the extra point in there. Gets the mana boots for himself. Bottom, Moon taking flight, but here comes Abed, metamorphed up. He's here for a tier 1 tower. While that's happening, it looks like a minor dive coming out from Weehaw. Bulba does have to watch his positioning a bit. But Moon's able to kind of fend off the pressure here, and DC are not going to be striking down an early objective at the moment. Do you think that that's what you'd be looking to do? You're going after, you're going against a Medusa, after all, one of the greatest late game heroes in the game. Should it be on DC trying to pressure these level, tier 1 objectives before Thunderbirds, or is Thunderbirds just like ahead of the game right now?
Well, they are. They have a Midas and Medusa. She got 1 kill. She got the tower last hit. Just continues the free farm pretty much. What it seems to be is Medusa is going for Blade Mail.
Really? Yeah, she has a Blade Mail queued up.
Yeah, I was not expecting it to be like the first item. I mean, you can't focus her because she has mana shield on and she takes less damage, but with Blade Mail, she's just standing there and doing her stuff, reflecting a lot of damage.
And you put that together with their Stone Gaze. It's like first you trigger like something like the Stone Gaze, and then when they finally wait that out and then look to engage her, then you plop the Blade Mail. It's even more time that you can't focus her, and that's so much time for her to just get out all that damage. It's pretty nice for her to just stand, plant, and fight.
And that's one hero. I mean, Blade Mail is like a perfect item for her because it gives her some mana pool, some damage, also some armor. Really, one of the best items in the game.
A little bit of everything right there. Resolution pressuring out this mid lane. Him and Misery. Both. Bulba setting things up already with a little bit of that corrosive haze here between the two of them. Now Dubu thinking about making his move. Leads in with the Nova. Misery pump faking a bit. Now the Stone Gaze will get popped. And that will be enough to fend off any pressure coming their way. They won't be able to finish out that tier 1.
Top tower is under attack.
But at that moment, they'll totally step off from any confrontation, will Thunderbirds.
Well, Medusa is like a ultimate counter to Terrorblade because of a Mystic Snake, AoE, also Split Shot, and when she uses ultimate, she just instantly kills the illusions.
Thunderbirds want this tower, or at least Resolution and Misery do. They're trying to dancing about it so that they can go for the deny. At the same moment, Weehaw is around the corner here. Caught between Forev and Dubu. They will be able to force him to remnant to the nearby river, but he had been invading quite a bit and taking away free money from the DC side and taking that money away from DC. We still see it here now. He's waiting out. He takes the 12-minute bounty rune and even tries to go for a couple of creeps too, taking that away from Forev.
Yeah, everyone is hating Forev this game, just stealing everything from him.
He's got a hood for now, so not putting, everything in on going for the Blink Dagger right away. And look at that, the Courier going to be going down again on the Radiant side.
Yeah, second time Misery killing that Courier, now with haste.
Yeah. Makes it easy to kind of chase down and get the pickup right there. Didn't look like it had much in cargo, maybe just handing off Mason's item, but Mason's still diligent here in the bottom lane. Has the armlet now good to go. He's second in net worth, only to that Midas Medusa, but it might be time to fight here. And he's hopping into Bulba at the moment. Bulba, 1,300 gold. Doesn't have that blink yet, but maybe they're hoping for some sort of sprint setup play here. Let's see what they go for.
He's gonna sprint in. I don't think that plan works.
I mean, he's just dancing around for now, maybe trying to fool Resolution into thinking there is no one in his backpack at the moment. But the longer they linger around this mid lane, the more trouble it's going to be, because already on the move is going to be T-Birds. They have Moon Meander with the Blink Dagger, good to go. They're smoked up. Can they find anyone to kidnap? Yes, they can. It's the special package Bulba, and that's when Mason comes out, and the trap has been sprung, and it's good work for DC. It's going to force out the Stone Gaze now from Resolution, and they're going to be stepping away. I don't know if that is called and considered a long con, but it works out for the better, I guess, for DC.
Yeah, well, that sprinting in with Slardar and Nyx didn't work out, so they were just baiting with Slardar, and that thing worked out. I mean, they always have a backup plan.
And that was the debut of the Blink Dagger for Moon as well, so maybe just keeping an eye on the timing of the clock and Moon missing from the map. They figured it was a wonderful opportunity to go for the bait play, and as you can see, it works out nicely, but it's not done yet. The pressure's still coming here from Thunderbirds. Look who's sweeping in from behind is Misery. Now with that level 6 Vendetta, can't quite find someone to strike, but they are going to be able to get the tier 1 down, but suddenly Stux is able to move in with a magic missile. The stun follow-up's there from Misery, but they can't get the finish, and Bulba is going to be able to slither away alive. Thunderbirds will take the extra money and walk away. It's a very uneventful kind of a game. 3 kills, 15 minutes in, but a very methodical one at the same time as far as how they're pressing forward and getting the finish on these objectives.
Yeah, both teams are very cautious about what they're doing. They're not risking anything, just trying to play safe. You saw how much Thunderbirds committed to actually kill that tier 1 tower on mid.
Wow, Moon is somehow avoids getting scouted out in that bottom lane and is free to kind of continue to step here and cut the wave out. Mason will ping it out, and they'll get the idea that they just missed that window. And the pressure will continue to come here towards this bottom tier 1, and it looks like Thunderbirds are also going to be rotating over to that area to perhaps just push down the objective or even take a fight. You know, we had never been a part of Thunderbirds, it feels like, for the majority of this game, Lacoste. He's been mostly just top lane, dancing around Forev, farming, moving about, not really being there.
They made 1 kill, and he was not part of it.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Open wounds. Quick blink, though, does come out. On the other front, though, Misery. Yeah, he gets a Vendetta stun strike onto Dubu right behind the back of Mason. And to the name, Assassin takes out the Crystal Lady.
This Misery on that support next Assassin, I'm super curious how he always finds a kill with it. Like, he's always on the right spot. I mean, it's a level 7 Nyx Assassin at 17 minute. And he always manages to... I mean, we saw in the previous games that was with Invoker, but still. He's always right there where he should be.
Maybe just part of that great game experience, or great game sense from long-time experience, I guess.
Yeah, it might be because he is a Misery.
He's Misery, you know? There's no Dota without Misery. The only player to have been at pretty much every single Valve event that's been there. And
He's
see.
the only one, right?
Yeah, he's the only one. And, you know, if Thunderbirds can go all the way, could be the first player to do it with a different team every single time as well, which is a ridiculous achievement in itself. Here, Mason, though, still able to fend off that bottom lane, nursing himself up as much as possible, kind of being the mirror to where Weehaw is at the moment, while the rest of DC smoke up and go on the move towards that top lane. They see Forev getting chased down a bit from Weehaw here, but look at this on the other side.
No
Misery,
detection.
he was scouted out, or he scouted out the smoke under his Vendetta, and as you talked about, they don't have the detection to spot Misery, so this gank is completely
He's gonna
thwarted.
get the courier again.
Radiant's courier
Oh
has been
my,
killed.
and then from behind, Misery is there to snipe the courier that was en route to the push train here at the top lane too. Misery MVP already, it feels like it, just before 20 minutes in. DC making the best out of it though, will still move on forward to claim the rest of this tier 1 tower.
Yeah, it was 2k gold net worth in courier.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Whoa. No 3 minutes. It was what was it? Probably a mithril hammer from
Radiant's
Lifestealer
bottom
plus something
tower
else.
is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
Third courier takedown of the game for Misery. We saw a similar kind of performance
Radiant's
from
bottom
when they
tower
were
has
then
fallen.
ad Finem at the Boston Major in the hands of MNT Bounty Hunter, but this is really something else. And a lot of free money kind of getting thrown the way of Thunderbirds for now. Pressure slowly coming from DC. They've been able to finish finally their first tier 1 tower, but it still costed them their own tier 1 here in the bottom lane. So overall, big picture at the moment, still looking pretty good for Thunderbirds. A 6k net worth advantage they're coasting with at the moment. But DC are feeling feisty, and really, Lacoste, enough is enough. Bulba has his Blink Dagger. It's time to work, and I don't think I've even seen a Ravage yet this game.
No, there was no ravages. There was no big team fights at all. There was just
This'll come in
some
handy.
pickoffs, and that's it. But there is a big item on the Medusa. She finished the whole Hurricane Pike, so it's really good against Nikes, against Slaughter when they try to focus someone.
Moon, Invis. Oh, they scouted him out. Bulba had the dust, and now he's frantically trying to make it away. Can he make it to his team's side? No. They will ping him down. Saksa was walking close, could have maybe
Radiant's
considered
middle
the
tower
swap,
is under attack.
but the deeps were just there for DC, and they'll take the pick.
Yeah, I don't think Saxa was in range for that swap. Also, he has the Hand of Midas finished, so they're just securing the late game. I mean, he has been part of 1 kill, and Misery has almost enough gold for 4 staff, so it's, again, like we saw yesterday when DC was playing, there was like 3 4 staffs, 2 blade mails, which actually won them that game.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna have 2 4 staffs already on side of Thunderbirds. Well, okay, so 2 are already. I'm sorry, one is on Batrider, so it's gonna be like triple 4 staff.
Yeah,
It's,
very huge for a lot of these
Dire's middle
chaotic
tower
team fights,
is under
especially when you're
attack.
able to just kite away from all the damage.
Yeah, well, it's always good for a base defense as well, or just pushing the enemy base. When you have a Batrider, that's what they're known for. Just double or triple 4 staff backwards. Just push some hero backwards for like 1.5k range.
Yeah, totally get a hold of someone, pull them out, drag them away, isolated from the rest of their
Dire's
team.
middle tower is under
That
attack.
double damage looks tasty, but it is under the watchful eye of DC. If they see it disappear, they might know something fishy's happening. Well, it looks like Resolution, who's not under the smoke, will move in and grab it. Oh, but it does get taken away. Nice little deny there from the illusion. And DC are able to avoid the possible invasion already coming in from Thunderbirds. Thunderbirds all the way towards the southern part of this map, maybe looking to see if they can force DC to rotate down here.
Still no big fights.
5 kills, 20 minutes.
Radiant's
It's
bottom
not very
tower is
exciting
under
as far as
attack.
bloodshed, that's for sure. But that's when you know things are getting very serious.
They're deciding to push tier 2 tower and have. Okay, do they have an idea that they're doing Roche? Even if they do, they don't have enough time to make it there.
Radiant's
They'll leave
bottom
Resolution,
tower
it
is
looks
under
like,
attack.
to finish out the remaining
Roshan
bits of that
has
tier 2 in
fallen
the
to
bottom
the
lane.
Radiant.
And
Radiant
DC
structures
will
are
get the finish
fortified.
on that Roche.
Dyer's middle
Ben will
tower
be
is under
picking
attack.
up the Aegis
Radiant's
for his
bottom
team,
tower
and
has
we'll
fallen.
look to see what DC plan on doing with it at this point, if they want to nurse it, build up a couple of extra items, so if they're going to be going. It looks like for now, trying to finish out the free money on the map between the maybe those two tier 1 towers still standing. This mid one is going to be easily handled.
Dyer's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, we didn't mention Solar Crest
Dyer's
on
middle
Ember
tower
Spirit.
has fallen.
We see some players buy it when they're playing against those heavy right clickers like Terrorblade, Nyx, also against Slardar. It's a really good pickup.
Yeah, Solar Crest is pretty much the Solar Crest and Midas, the items of the meta, pretty much.
Yeah, especially the Solar Crest. Solar Crest, you can make it so easily. You can make it on any hero. Safe lane, just rush it like a Bristleback, Lycan, mid heroes like a DP, Ember, and on supports. Oh,
Forev walking himself down mid. Look at this. At the same moment, Saxa may have just gotten away with such a deep ward that will not be spotted. Oh, they did spot him on the way back, so by deduction they may know. But if that goes undetected, that will provide a lot of great vision for Thunderbirds. Looks like they'll walk away. Still no fight to break out here. Poor Forev, man. I was getting so excited over this 5th pick Tidehunter, and god damn it, where are my Ravages at? Level 2 Ravage? I didn't even see a level 1 Ravage. But,
well,
you know,
should
part of the game is also just having a Ravage. You know, the threat of the Ravage. But here we go. Mid lane. Pop in, move bomb for Weehaw, but he's gone.
and that's Solar
gone.
Crest doing the work.
I'll take any sort of minimal hype moment at this point. I'll overhype the slightest gank.
Oh, Nyx on the mid, ganking those creeps.
Got him. One's down. Looking for the next one. And passes it up and gets the twofer. Big grab for Fuji. Shusuke.
Well, what is that? It seems like the Dota community likes to watch anime a lot.
Dyer's middle tower is
Yep, a
under
lot of them
attack.
do. Oh,
Ooh,
swing and a
nice
miss. Very, very close, but a great blank. Counter Remnant play as they just melt down the Crystal Maiden. Now fighting under the tier 1 tower. Metamorph destructing and destroying Saxa. And it's going to be a support for each side here. Moon waiting in that Fireflight. Not looking to make the jump just yet with that lasso. DC may decide to totally pull off as Thunderbirds are stalling out for the last bits of this Metamorph Terrorblade. And that will be the end of it. It looks like DC decide that enough is enough, and we have our first decent fight in 20 minutes.
Yeah, and Misery again killed the 4th career. So
He killed the courier again?
yes.
Oh my god. He's going for the
And look
record.
and look how deep are the wards. One on the bottom lane, almost near the tier 3 tower, and one in the base.
Yeah, it's... Like I said, I can't believe Saxa was able to kind of just get away with walking down that mid lane past tier 2 tower and being able to get that bit of deep vision down.
I didn't see who placed it. Was it Nyx Assassin from Vendetta, or was it some...
In the base, it was just Saxa. He just walked up and
Saxa,
did
oh.
it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
he must
here we
have been
go.
smoked.
Nope. Oh, chain down. And it could be trouble here for Dubu, but there they make the grab. It's going to be the lasso pullback for Bulba while Mason tries to get hold of Weehaw here. Starts blasting at him a bit. They will get the finish on Bulba, as he'll be the first one to get dropped. Now the movement from Abed. And Mason will be able to help him in getting the finish, as it's going to be just another support trade. There's our Ravage! And it comes up for Misery, but you know what? I can't blame the guy. He had built up so much angst against Misery that he was overdue for the Ravage at that point. How many couriers does it take? How many poor little neutral creeps has he stolen? He was angry about it. That was the saltiest Ravage ever.
Well, he got some gold, 400 gold. It's better to use it on one hero than not to use it at all.
I suppose so, and it will earn them that little scuffle, as well as a tier 2 tower in the top lane. Weehaw sweeping in now. Look at this, trying to get a hold of any stragglers that are without their friends. Forev without that Ravage anymore, slowly getting chased down. He's going to be popping the extra bit of magic resistance now. Dubu moving in, hits him with the slow, and that
Yeah,
could
you
be the end
can't
of a chase.
touch. that Tide Hunter. Oh gosh, plus Solar Crest. That's a lot of minus armors. My minus 12, minus 5, 17 armor reduction from Tide.
A little attention towards the Roche pit there. Moon looks to check it out, but we got some time ahead of us here, folks. May respawn in about 2.5 minutes. DC will pull themselves all the way out and away here. So let's talk a little bit about the items that have progressed and transcended before a fight breaks out, which could be sooner than later. Lincoln's complete on Mason, and he's going to be going for an MKB next. Already preparing for the Solar Crest, and, you know, if Resolution was to consider a Butterfly, which obviously could change his plans.
Yeah. Plus, he has a on level 15 talent, 15% evasion,
right.
so it's a must-have item.
Yeah, it is. You're right. Totally forgot about that nice little talent there. Here's Forev, though, mid lane, trying to be that Goliath, soaking in a bit of the damage right now. But slowly, DC are maybe trying to formulate a game plan. Good positioning, though, from Thunderbirds, are making it very tricky to approach.
I think they saw that smoke.
Uh-oh. Moving from Wii. Gets the chains down to Dubu. Brings him to about half of his life. But, yeah, you're right. I mean, they see DC inside the base just waiting there with that ward. So it's very difficult for DC to try to do anything about this. Thunderbirds reading the situation so well.
Yeah, but what's with Tide Hunter? They're
Okay,
just,
there's the move, though. They're getting on the back of Weehaw, but they got a quick swap coming out from Saksa, and it bails him out from trouble. Now the pullback comes out right into the arms of Resolution, dishing out the multi-shot. Now the Stone Gaze got to get dished. Abed trying his best to dish out the right-click damage, but the Carapace will slow him down a bit. Between him and Mason, though, doing enough work that they're trying to force targets together, but eventually Mason forced to jump into Abed. Abed able to get off the Sunder onto Resolution, which will force him back, and they turn their sights on for Weehaw, and they will be able to bring him down. Double kill for Abed on this one, and Resolution has to slither away from the fight.
Yeah, Medusa was doing such a good work controlling them with Stone Gaze, Blade Mail. When Nyx tried to go in, there was no rage, so he just pushed him away with the Hurricane Pike. But good reaction from Nyx, just went into Terrorblade. I still think Terrorblade needs that Diffusal Blade just for that extra lockdown.
Yeah.
And mana burn on Medusa. But he also needs an MKB in the near future or a Bloodthorn. So, I mean, the True Strike in this meta right now is like a must-have because everyone makes Solar Crest and there are talents for evasion as well.
Mm-hmm. So what do you think then for Thunderbirds? You look at Medusa as one of the greatest late-game heroes in the game, and they have Ember Spirit with it, but you could see it in that fight a bit. Is the separation between Weehaw and the other three cores, is that going to be a bit of a problem here? Is Weehaw going to be able to match up with where the Terrorblade, Medusa, and the Lifestealer are?
He just needs to continue farming, and he's level 18 already with the Blink Dagger. He can just control them, keep them in place with Searing Chains, just boost armor for Medusa if needed. Also with 3-4 staffs ready, they can just kite around, and when he builds Mjolnir, they can just clear the illusions from Terrorblade if Stone Gaze is not up.
Yeah. We'll see how Weehaw builds up from here, and he does have the Maelstrom already set up to go, which will definitely make things a bit easier for them.
Has fallen.
Now, the tier 2 down, Thunderbirds still want to move forward, and they'll quickly wipe out the wave here. We'll see how much sieging power they can get in. They're looking to work around that cooldown, but they only need 10 more seconds before the Ravager's going to be back up. Moon makes his move in. It's to grab a hold of Dubu. They will get it. A leading crushes there from Bulba. The Stone Gaze is going to get popped now, forcing them back. And now the move could be made. Mason looking to jump in. His Lincolns will be forced and popped. And just as Abed wants to get strutting on forward, Thunderbirds take their exit.
Seems like Thunderbirds let them pick Terrorblade. From what I see, they have like a super counter with Medusa, something planned, and also the way they play with those 4 staffs. That's the problem for Terrorblade. If you use meta and you don't have any control, you can't catch them. You can't fight for the next 2 minutes.
So he's pretty much just using Stone Gaze at the moment, like the Terrorblade Metamorph comes out, and it just almost nullifies his potential. But
yeah.
There's no Stone Gaze now, and there is Metamorph. So you'd think DC should have the much better fight and a Ravage on top of it. Thunderbirds still hanging around. Let's see if it's going to be for the better or not. A nice swap save there from Saksa, and it doesn't seem to cost his life yet, while Resolution at that choke point on the hill now could be dealing with the power of the Terrorblade as they get forced up. They do have a shrine to fall back on. Resolution slowly creeping back, but that's when Forever steps in with the Ravage now. And they're still slowly trying to bring the Medusa Beast down. They'll finally get the drop on the Dubu. Still making chase, but the assistance is there, and Resolution makes it out to safety. Weehaw, though, dancing with them a bit from the outside. Starts to dish out the slights, but it looks like DC will have to step back the other way. And now the Metamorph is up, and the Ravage is over.
Yeah, if they...
Moon moving in.
So fast.
Not there in time. It is going to be snagged up from Abed, but T-Bird still want to fight. Feeling pretty good about this. Abed has the Sunder, but he's eating a lot of damage. There's the swap back. Can he get it off in time? Looking to go for the turnaround. Gets it onto Resolution. Will be able to stay alive, but that's when the Stone Gaze gets popped, and he's happy to chunk down all of that life he had taken away. Aegis, though, is still there. The scoot in for Bulba, able to get the follow-up stun. Forever popping out the magic resistance. Abed looking to truck on forward. Resolution pops his blade mail in hopes of reflecting all the damage back. Misery scoots himself away, but Resolution can't do the same. The Aegis allows DC to be able to take it to the later rounds and keep the fight alive in their favor. Weeha's still here, though. He's hanging back and behind, and it looks like he doesn't want to get any part of this. But if he can assassinate a quick support, he'll go for it, but will it cost him his life? He gets bashed up, knocked down, frozen in place, and then he'll step away. Oh, Weeha, don't scare me like that.
Oh, there was a big Sunder coming out from Terrorblade. He had Aegis on, and that's how they managed to kill Medusa. I don't think Medusa goes down if she has full HP and there's no Sunder casted on him. Also, they need a true strike. Nyx still struggling to get that MKB.
Yeah.
Okay, Terrorblade has one queued up. It's a must-have. They should fight next time when the MKB is up on that TB.
That's going to take some time. I wonder if Thunderbirds are looking to take fights before that time is available to them or not. It's going to be a tricky situation, and we could see a little bit of a calm period here while DC do pick up those extra pieces. But now a tougher situation for Thunderbirds to begin to fight out from. We'll look at the net worth graph, and though overall this game has been pretty favorable for Thunderbirds as they've been winning the economy game, farming out better with Midases and Medusas and such, it is, as of recent, DC just getting the better end of these fights, and their late game potential just could quickly skyrocket here soon.
Yeah, well, Tidehunter is also getting a lot of levels, a lot of farm. Shiva is completed on him, so that's a 41 armor hero with reduction from Kraken Shell. You can't lock him down, so pretty much he's always going to cast Ravage.
Yeah, you pretty much ignore the Tidehunter in these fights. He just seems like too big to have to deal with. And you have probably an easier time just putting your efforts elsewhere.
Also, there's Lotus Orb on Batrider. It's always good to have against Terrorblade for that Sunder return. And Nyx Open Wounds, also Crystal Maiden Bite. Oh.
Yeah, this is very tense. Misery has been scouting out, and Moon is looking to go for the follow-up. They have the vision now. Force in with the Shivas. Weeha also casually could be coming in. Resolution right from behind. They're looking to surround DC if possible, but Bulba's going to be the first one to strike, moving in with the stun, and now it's going to be dished out. The Ravage is going to be there. Abed looking to connect with a lot of right-click damage from the outside. Resolution's going to be forced to pop out the ulti. Can he scoot away from the trouble? They're going to be able to chase him down. The swap is there from Saksa to bail him out to the low ground, but can he make it out? He is rushing away, but DC are pursuing the hell out of him. Bulba to the high ground, gets a good stun onto Misery and will help him get the finish, but Misery, in assisting the space, will allow the precious cargo Medusa to make it away from trouble. Saksa will also be a victim of war in this one, as another fight will go the way of DC.
Yeah. Bulba had to commit a buyback there. He got hands on Medusa before the fight, stun and corrosive haze, so they had a full vision on Medusa during the whole fight, and it was easy to actually just focus her, so she had to run. Let's check the... yeah. Well, we has Maelstrom finished. They need those upgrades up. They need those Mjolnirs against TB.
Yeah, it will help. And he's not going to go straight for the Mjolnir, it would look like, holding off for what appears to be the Octarine in the meantime. But can't help but get those feelings as this game slipping away now from Thunderbirds a bit. The Medusa's late game power doesn't seem to be too threatening at this moment in time. And now
Jesus
with
Christ.
what?
Radiant Courier died again.
Are you serious? That's 5. That's 5 in one game. That's got to be a record. And I think I've caught none of them. I don't think I've seen one of them go down.
That's gotta be misery for sure.
That's crazy. Well, it's something here for Thunderbirds, and I guess just based on a bit of that and being able to choke the map in further, maybe hoping to work around those cooldowns yet again. 30 seconds on the Ravage here, and Metamorphosis has 10 more seconds too. T-Birds are trying to maybe make a fight happen out of it, but even by the time they get there, ooh, a force forward? Was that offensive? And a defensive force back, a double defensive force back. And he's good again, but do have to be careful of those. And by now, DC are going to be in good fighting shape. No MKBs yet, and in fact, a 4-staff Hurricane Pike combo is in queue here now for Abed, and not finishing out the MKB. So this is interesting. I guess maybe with the MKB done on Mason, they're fine with that.
Yeah, well, Abed has one, but I guess the javelins are in chicken.
Oh, you're right. That's right. The courier went down, and the MKB is probably complete on that. Well, good thing for T-Birds, but only for a few extra moments. They don't get anything done really in the high ground at all of DC, and they'll have to step off a bit. But as you can see by the draw out there, DC could just kind of push these lanes back forward a bit and try to maintain the property area of where the Roche currently is.
Roche will be up, might be up in 1 minute and 30 seconds. It's gonna be a long time. Might be actually for him to respawn.
Old DC versus new DC. A lot of people were probably anticipating the classic old DC to be the ones on paper to be a bit better. Of course, second place TI, very prestigious title held above their head, but obviously have been like working their way back up since then with some hot and cold results. Now facing off against the new DC kids on the block, formerly known as Team Onyx, with the exception of taking out Demon and bringing in Forev. Have been on a pretty good tear recently. We saw yesterday them able to kind of take down 2-0, but oh, Moon potentially getting scouted out from an invasion here of DC. Bulba makes his move in, but is not able to get the stun catch. Going for it blindly there is just coming up a bit short.
Oh, that would be a big kill. That's a gem on Batrider. I mean, they have gem on Slardar, but still stealing a gem from enemy team. Just completely shut down the vision. There is what, 2 wards on the map, 3 wards on the map, or 2 actually.
2 for who? 2 in all for DC?
2 for DC, 1 for Thunderbirds.
Yeah.
So
all towards the top part of the map, and for DC a lot of them on where Thunderbirds could approach for a threat of Roche. It's very important, Roche. Resolution. Shredding down mid lane. He's nowhere near his team at all. And he's dead. Just like that.
Does he have a buyback?
Yeah, he does.
Yes.
Thankfully, but okay
they
then.
Force it.
Of course they are.
They're forcing a buyback with that Terrorblade Metamorphosis up, and then they're just gonna run back. No tide ulti.
Yeah, no tide ulti, but I mean, using it to get that first life of Medusa down and forcing it a buyback feels pretty nice, and Abed's going to be able to use the remaining bits of this transformation to do as much work as possible. There's that buyback. Do DC turn and run now? Yes, they do. It's double damage on Weehaw. Moving in, gets the chains. Follow up there from Moon, but Moon, got to be careful, man. Eats a lot of damage and quickly scoots out and gets some help there. Ooh, nice chains to cancel out Forev from trying to make it away. And they'll follow it up with even more stun power, and it looks like they'll at least get one straggler of the bunch Forev is making him work for it, though, but finally they'll take him down.
T-Birds right away to the Roche pit.
Yep, that's a smart call to make. Even if Forev was to buy back, he will not have a Ravage for this fight. And it looks like DC are not going to go for it or bother defending it at all.
If you look at it this way, it would have been better for DC if they just killed that Medusa and then just went back without forcing a fight, without forcing that buyback for Medusa. Now she has Aegis.
Yeah. But
sounds kind of stupid, but
in hindsight, it's hard.
Better.
Yeah. In hindsight, it's hard to say, though. I mean, in that moment when you get the quick and easy pick on the Medusa, you'd feel like maybe you could just get away with pressuring that mid lane and forcing out the buyback. And they did turn and run. We're going to be seeing a pick here on Dubu potentially. Yeah. Just trying to side push that lane here. No big deal. But, yeah, you know, in hindsight, it feels like they're able to kind of get that easy pick and possibly force out more money from the piggy bank of resolution. But even after turning and running, the catch power of Thunderbirds is just too good, and maybe they just underestimated it a bit in that moment.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Dubu is doing there, like hiding in the trees with the gloves of haste. Not really a hero you can do anything there. It's not like your Beastmaster split pushing, hiding in the trees.
Poor guy's trying to go for a 50-minute Midas here.
Yeah, it's gonna pay off in what, 13, 14 minutes.
Yeah, the game may still be going at that point.
So after 60-minute mark, the Crystal Maiden
it'll be all
gonna
worth
be
it. Yeah,
6 slotted.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
All right, Thunderbirds back on the tower warpath here, looking to go for the final outer tower. Top lane tier 2 done for.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
And they'll just take it for what it's worth right now. No power yet to take the shrines, as they have not achieved a tier 3 yet. But look at this. Smoke, and looking to go a little cross-country here.
And they're going into dark. There's no vision for Thunderbirds.
Forev was just spotted. Moon goes to the trees above. He's hoping to see if he could snatch someone, but DC have already pushed themselves back inside where it's safe. That was very close. And Thunderbirds will not find anybody on their smoke movement, and instead will just continue to pressure the bottom and mid lanes.
Medusa hit level 25, plus 2 seconds stone gaze stun, so it's 5 seconds gaze. That's hell of a lot.
Yeah, that is a crazy stun. And more for DC to try to be able to avoid. If Moon gets a great lasso play on someone like the Terrorblade, pulls him back into his stone gaze setup, it is going to be very hard for anyone to make it out from that much kind of lockdown.
Terrorblade went all in with items, doesn't have a buyback. BKB is finished.
Full 10 seconds this late is pretty damn valuable. And here they go, a move in, and it's going to be resolution going down. Remember, he has no buyback if he somehow gets dropped here. Dubu's freezing field is going to be dishing out some work from the back lines. The swap play to the high ground to bail him out from trouble. Misery slides to the other side, and Terrorblade charges on in. Looks like Rezo will be good to the high ground there. Eventually, though, Mason gets the hold of Misery and takes him out of this one. And I don't know if Thunderbirds want to keep swinging it out while the transformation is still in play. It looks like they will back away.
Yeah, this is the problem with that Terrorblade. I guess he need. Oh, can they catch someone?
I want to. Forev scoots in a bit, but he never got that Blink Dagger this game, so he can only use a Force Staff. Oh, Weehotch. Remnants right back into their team, thankfully, though. Able to jump right back out. And just a little bit of posturing up from Thunderbirds, though.
Yeah, Terrorblade, what it seems to be, he's going for Butterfly. Only right clicker is Medusa. Ember Spirit, not that much of a right click, more magical damage, actually. So maybe a Refresher Orb might not be a bad idea. So he has that extra meta.
Yeah, it would be nice to be able to not just bank on the one big true ulti cooldown that Terrorblade has, and if you had one even kind of just hanging in your backpack to swap in later game, what could be pretty damn useful here for the Terrorblade. We'll have to see how late it's going to consider going, though. Thunderbirds are already on the move back forward. Remember, no Aegis this time, just a cheese now in the pocket of Resolution. Still probably waiting things out for his buyback, but Thunderbirds not waiting things out in the game overall. Now we're sitting in the high ground, but look at the positioning of DC. They're coming in from behind, and there's the Ravage setup. Oh, you couldn't ask for a better start to this one. Can they get the blast finish up for Resolution? Saka going to be going down first. Resolution, though, able to scoot away, gets a beautiful connection of the Stone Gaze, and it could force DC back. The follow-up lasso is going to be there for Bulba, and they take him down on top of Dubu too. But now Mason looks to tear through Resolution, the chase on forward. A buyback comes out from Bulba now, and a move
Nice
in.
stun.
Beautiful stun from Bulba with his buyback. Gets the connection. Resolution trying to make it to the high ground, but the chase is happening. Can he make it out?
Shrine is ready.
Is a buyback. And quickly DC will hit the shrine and probably look to go no further, but Weehaw steps back in, hits him up with a slight, and we'll dip. Ooh, feisty.
That fight, Medusa is hard to take down. She had a cheese ready and always a defensive swap from Venge. Pretty much every single time there was a swap on Medusa just to get her out of focus, plus those 4 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4 steps.
Walking in, Forev with the Shivas. The pop-out package is there from Mason, and suddenly it's Resolution down. T-Birds lacks it a bit in the mid lane, and it's DC who do another full strike. With a Metamorph or not, they continue to dish it out. Weehaw now, one of the Lone Core survivors. Now hit up with a Frostbite, they gush him down. The slow rev to the high ground, but look who's waiting for it. It's Abed, and they slash him apart. Oh, buyback now ready again for Resolution, it would appear. First buyback is going to get used from Wii, though.
They can't hold it. Rezo needs to buy back as well.
Not triggering it yet. There it is. DC, though, do they want to stick around? New Sunder's there. Not for much damage. Oh, swap back. Looking to go for Abed. Can he lock him inside? He pops his BKB. The counter Ravage play. Can Forev and company move in to go for the finish? Resolution, though, pretty good Stone Gaze. Plants and goes for the multi-shot damage. Can he get enough out there? It looks like DC have been able to swarm on through and grab all the weaker components on the outside as Saxa will fall. Forev, though, gets chunked down from Resolution. Him and Wee wait on the high ground. Misery forced to hide under his Vendetta, waiting on the side to turn around Sunder play. Takes away a chunk of Resolution's life, and they're still looking to chase on Dubu. Very low. Can they get the finish to scoot on forward from Resolution? Will get the grab on Bulba, dropping the gem on the deck. Turn around from Mason, can't get a hold of Misery. Now they settle for Resolution instead. The Sunders just keep coming. What is the cooldown? It's crazy.
10 seconds cooldown with that level 25 talent.
It is really ridiculous. And now still content on fighting and moving on in. He actually has the Metamorphosis now good to go if he'd like to use it. He pops a new Sunder, unleashes the Fury, and could alone help rip through the rest of this mid lane. Him and Mason able to get it to work.
Another Sunder.
He's trying to find the target, can't quite get it. He's low. Can Misery finish him off? Oh, the scoot's there. There's the slight. He pops the BKB. He looks to turn around, and he simply right-clicks apart. Can he get the Sunder? He wants to so bad. Can we get it? Oh, he can do it. Okay. Jump in from Wee, able to get the finish before the Sunder's there, but look at the space that was created for Mason in the top lane. He chunks out another Rax. The remaining one could be taken out from the catapults, and it will. Chalk it up as 2 Rax down for DC.
Very good play by Mason there. He just ignored the both Ember and Nyx Assassin because Terrorblade was just fooling around them with Sunder, but the time, so Mason can take the Raxes on top. And Roche is gonna be up really, really soon. He can be up in the next minute.
This'll come in handy.
The shorter the timer, probably the better for possibly DC on this one. Thunderbirds not in fighting shape as of yet. Resolution still stuck on those sidelines for 20 seconds. Misery also with them. And DC already kind of hanging around here looking to scout it out.
Yeah, Medusa in those fights is not dealing damage anymore. I mean, she lacks the Manta Style, doesn't provide that much of a damage. Also Pike, so he has a Rapier queued up.
Oh, Saxa trying to be the scout for his team. dares come close enough to the pit to dish out the wave and get spanked for it promptly. And now he will be extinct, but it has stopped DC from hanging around there for now. Little did they know, it's actually going to be up right now, and it looks like they will be able to head that direction. What can Thunderbirds hope to do here to be able to stay afloat in this game? It feels like this one's gotten a bit unbearable. It was tight-knit for a while, but then as you can see, a 10K, getting close to a 10K advantage right now for DC.
It's not just the 10K, I mean, it's not that much. They're gonna kill Roche, have Cheese, Aegis. If they don't take the fight, they also have enough gold on Tidehunter to finish that refresher orb.
Roshan has
There it
fallen
is.
to the Radiant.
Easy as pie. Quick pickup of the Aegis right there, and they will take their business back through the bottom lane, as drawn out here by Captain Volba. As T-Birds are trying their best to keep the pressure forward in that lane, it's a simple stall tactic right now. MKB is slotted up here for Resolution. I don't know if he'll be able to get to that point or not. He has 3K gold in reserve, but I would imagine holding a bit of that gold in case that he's granted the time to go for that new buyback. Woohoo! Dubu goes down. Nice little snipe right there for Misery. Somehow gets the last little nod, but has it cost Misery his own life? Yes, it has.
That damage from Terrorblade.
It's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, you're talking about Medusa's item build. Well, he has enough gold to buy. He doesn't know what to buy. He just switched to Lincoln Sphere. I don't think Lincoln Sphere is gonna help you at this point of the game. You need to go all in, either MKB or Rapier.
Yeah, Rapier was on the back of my mind, but I wasn't sure if we were there. But it is feeling like it. It is feeling like we are there. So he hasn't made the commitment to anything. Resolution in his history of play, I've seen this man pull out crazy Rapier turnarounds, even back on his time on Empire. Gyrocopter games seem to stand out to me, but can he manage to pull together the funds, the timing, and the ability to Rapier his way out of this one? I don't know. DC have just blasted their way effortlessly through this bottom lane, and it's time to go in for the final set of racks. The claim of the Megas here could certainly guarantee him a game #1 win of this best of 3 and a good head start on moving into the grand finals. Surprised to see DC heading out of the gate of the series looking so damn strong.
Yeah, definitely looking strong yesterday and today as well.
Back in again, popping the rage. Mason looking to chunk it as much as he can. That tier 3 is done for. Resolution suddenly just loses all of his life with the one big Sunder. The Lotus Orb comes out, but not in good enough time to stop that Sunder play. They get a nice swap back for Fareb, but he just eats the cheese, pops the Ravage, and says, let's go! And just like that, Resolution gets knocked out to the curb. And this is going to be the beginning of the end, I'd imagine, here. DC look to grab the stragglers, but they put their focus onto the racks and unleashing the mega creeps. What a performance already. Weehaw taking out his bit of frustrations, I'm sure, on the finish of Dubu on that one, but this one belongs to DC. A follow-up Ravage there as a refresher was complete there from Forev on the back end of this one, but all right, GG DC, game #1.
GG DC, indeed. That initiation at very end of the game, when swapping, they're actually lassoing Terrorblade into Fountain. Can he make a Sunder?
He still has an Aegis too, and he even Sunders anyways. It's over. Digital Chaos will take it on the back of that Abed, Terrorblade, Mason, Lifestealer. A warm welcome back to the Watermelon Man, Tidehunter 2. We haven't seen him in a while, and he gets a win here. I don't know if I'd put this game on the Tidehunter, but good showing from DC.
Yeah, definitely. Kind of a different build on Tidehunter this game than what we usually see, because Tidehunter was not picked at all lately. His, let's say, a classic build before was Mech into Guardian Greaves, Blink Dagger, Shiva Refresher. This game, it was not needed. He just went for Solar Crest to tank up. Also, Shiva's Guard to slow down those illusions and just the attack speed. So pretty interesting. Also Pipe of Insight for some magical damage from Batrider. and Nyx Assassin.
I gotta say, for the opponents of DC, it's got to be becoming a bit difficult to pinpoint exactly what comfort picks Digital Chaos have, because they keep throwing together some pretty different drafts. Teams have tried to work around maybe letting something like the Meepo through, but then they learn their lesson from that, and then suddenly Abed gets a game with Invoker, then you learn your lesson from that. Now Terrorblade looks like it could be a huge problem. They seem to be finding a lot of success with Bulba on his Slardar games, and I imagine this is going to be a little bit of extra effort here for Thunderbirds to try to figure out how they want to be approaching the draft for game number 2. But we're not going to wait too long to get into that draft. This game number 1 was a bit longer, but we're going to cut to a small break. When we come back, myself, Dakota, and Lacoste will be here for Summit 7 America.